the opportunity to sign up for benefits during open enrollment, but there are some circumstances that will let you make changes during other times of the year. Class is in session. It's time for Insurance 101 with Sovereign Select, and Tom Qualley is back to tell us about these special enrollment periods. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me on.
It's an education that we get whenever you're here.
Oh, yeah.
You've been on the show, I think it's been 7 years.
It's about 7 years. Isn't that crazy?
Which is great.
Yeah, time flies.
People get to know you. It's an important service that you offer. Tell us a little bit about what you do, because I think
Sure.
it's important for people to understand the setup and that you represent a whole host of different products and not just one thing you're trying to sell everybody.
Yeah, so basically what we are, we're an independent insurance agency, and what we do is we really specialize specifically in Medicare. So with Medicare, people get Medicare from the federal government, but Medicare doesn't pay everything. So what most people need to do is supplement what Medicare doesn't pay for. And some people can do that through a group insurance plan or through buying private insurance. So when they do private insurance, that's where we come in. So being independent, we have access to dozens of different insurance companies' products in Wisconsin to help custom fit programs for each person's specific needs.
And as you evaluate people's plans and try to get them the right fit and maybe save them some money, people don't pay for your service.
Correct.
You're paid in different ways. So people can use your service and all your resources at no charge to them.
Absolutely. So we're a big proponent of education. So first of all, what we're going to do is educate people on what Medicare is and the products that are available to them, which would be Medicare Advantage plans, Medicare supplements, and Part D prescription drug plans, and then customize a program to fit their needs. So whatever program they choose, that company would just pay us a fee then for helping them find their program.
Let's talk about open enrollment or special enrollment periods, because there are different time frames during the year outside of that annual open enrollment that everyone can participate in, but people can enroll in or change a Medicare Advantage, or we want to talk also specifically about the Part D prescription drug plan.
Yes, so open enrollment period happens every single year from October 15th to December 7th, and that's the time of year that anybody that's on Medicare can just go ahead and go crazy and make whatever changes they want to make. Now, outside of that time period, so after December 7th, people are in what's called lock-in periods. So they're typically locked into whatever program they have with regards to Medicare Advantage and Part D prescription drug plans. So let's say a person is on a traditional Medicare supplement and they want to move over to a Medicare Advantage plan. They typically would not be able to do that. However, there is a program, state-run prescription drug plan called Senior Care. So anybody that has senior care or is even willing to sign up for senior care, that gives a person a one-time election period, a special election period, to move into a Medicare Advantage plan, and they're guaranteed accepted. So Medicare Advantage plans are pretty low cost. Some of them are about $25 a month or even $0 per month, and people can move into those programs just by signing up for senior care, which is available in the state of Wisconsin.
Okay, I would think sometimes it's confusing for people.
Yeah.
We talk about Part D prescription drug plans, and we talk about the Advantage Care and all those things, and that's part of, I mean, you mentioned education, but helping people sort that out and compare plans, I think, is a big part of.
Well, yeah, and everybody's situation is unique. So that's where calling us, be like, hey, I want to talk to Tom, and letting me kind of sort out each person's specific situation to figure out, okay, where are you now, and what are your options to get you into a better situation? And that's really what it comes down to. Yeah,
and I think the ability for people to ask those questions and to have those comparisons done is huge. Do you also get a lot of questions from people wondering if there's certain life circumstances that change their eligibility? Things like that?
And there are. The two other ones that I wanted to bring up today. One is qualifying for Medicaid or low-income subsidy. So people that have lower incomes and qualify for state Medicaid programs or low-income subsidies, which basically, if you have low-income subsidy, you'd probably know about it. For people that are watching, if they have a lower income, it's very important to maybe call Social Security and see if they qualify for those programs. And if they do, then call Sovereign Select, and we can actually help get them into programs that are specific to people that qualify for Medicaid or low-income subsidies.
Okay.
Low-income subsidies help people get discounts on their prescription drugs.
Okay.
Okay. And then the other one is for anybody that's losing or deciding to leave retiree or group health insurance benefits, whether they're working or not working, it doesn't matter. So if they leave their group plan, whether they're kicked off the plan or they decide to leave the plan, they can leave the plan and go into any Medicare plan that's available, guaranteed accepted, so they don't have to answer any health questions and no pre-existing conditions would apply, which is really nice.
That's a really nice benefit. The other thing is that you do these Medicare 101 classes in your office. They happen every Friday at 10. You also have evening or one-on-one options available to be flexible for everybody's schedule, which is great. So you can call, email, or visit online at sovereignselectins.com for more dates and times and to register as well. So call them now at 262-641-4111 to reserve your spot at a meeting or ask questions or ask for that one-on-one option, or you can visit them online at sovereignselectins.com. Always great to see you.
Thank you for having me on.
Up next on the show, we're going to hear